This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Only on RTV6, a Delaware County mother is pushing for answers as her son, a high school wrestler, sits on the sidelines.
She says he was accused of stealing a pair of shoes, and even though the situation has been resolved, the 11th grader is still being punished.
RTV6's Cameron Riddle shows you why this family says the response from the school district is a mistake.
Jasmine White is calling attention to what she says is an unfair practice and bad judgment at Cowan High School in Delaware County.
It makes zero sense to me, and it just breaks my heart because it kills his dedication and his morale because he's so adamant about his wrestling, you know. It's what drives him.
White says her 11th grade son, Preston, was accused of stealing a pair of shoes while attending an October 7th volleyball game at New Prairie High School in northern Indiana.
My son did not take these shoes. I definitely questioned him about the scenario. My son's character is not he wouldn't steal.
With his wrestling season on the line, Preston, his mom, and dad reluctantly made an agreement with Cowan High School to remedy the situation by paying for the $140 shoes.
You suggested the scenario at hand. You pay for him, you wouldn't receive charges, of which I feel like he was bullied into that, to pay for him, that he didn't steal anyway. But we did what we thought would keep him wrestling.
A friend visiting the game with Preston later admitted to stealing those shoes, clearing Preston's name. But that wasn't enough to keep the 11th grader from being suspended from the wrestling team for 25% of the season.
He doesn't deserve this. He's a great student, he's a great athlete, he's a great person, period.
The length of Preston's suspension is in accordance with the Cowan High School Student Handbook, which lists misdemeanor and felony criminal activity, including theft, as grounds for discipline. But Preston was never charged or convicted of a crime. The district superintendent tells RTV6 they cannot comment on the matter due to privacy restrictions. Tonight, Preston is watching his team's first meet of the year while sitting on the sidelines, a far cry from how he pictured this big day.
I always thought I was ready for it, and today is here. Just kind of really sad, you know, that I'm not participating with my team, you know. That's where I want to be at.
Working for you in Delaware County, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Cowan Community School Corporation declined to comment on this story, but we looked over the district's policy handbooks as well as the rules and bylaws of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, which says discipline for a student's behavior is at the school's discretion.
RTV6 is getting answers for people who reached out to us for help, saying they are being forced to live with major sewage and mold problems. Richard Mount has lived at the Diplomat Apartments in Beech Grove for 40 years. He does not want to move, but says he has been living with standing sewage in his apartment for 2 weeks. He says the terrible smell of the soaking wet carpet makes it hard to breathe in his own home.
It's like you have to beg them and crawl to get them to do anything. This is not only a nightmare, it's a living nightmare.
Management tells RTV6 they are working with the health department and that repairs will take time because the building has been around since the 1960s. We are waiting to learn what the health department might do to help residents. And potholes are no longer a crisis across Indianapolis, but they are still a problem in some neighborhoods. Jennifer Denise says driving down an alley to get to her father's home is like being on a roller coaster. She says it's the only way to access his house. The issue became urgent over the summer after Jennifer's father had a stroke and was diagnosed with dementia. He now requires in-home care.
There's no street access to his home, and so you can only access the home through the alley. And at this point, with him having to get care and need care, it's even more heightened of a concern for me, obviously.
Jennifer and others have called the Mayor's Action Center about the potholes. We asked the Department of Public Works about the situation. We are told DPW does not receive gas tax revenue for non-named streets, meaning only larger roads and residential streets are considered when allocating funding. And a spokesman says because alleys are less traveled, it makes it hard to justify using limited resources on fixing them. If you have a problem and need help getting answers or action, contact us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
Now to your Storm Team 6 forecast. And if you got outside today, you saw blue skies, enjoyed warmer temperatures, and I'm hoping we get one more day at least like that.
We got some more coming our way. May have to wait just a little bit as our weather's changing a bit, but things are actually warming up tonight. We were at 40 degrees at 10 o'clock, now 42 in Indianapolis, still 50 degrees in Sullivan. Yeah, we've got some cooler air at the eastern areas. Richmond right now at 34, but we'll start to slowly rise those numbers here as we go through the overnight. The clouds are increasing, and as we look into portions of Missouri and southern Illinois, you see a few very light rain showers. And as we go overnight and into tomorrow morning, few of those showers may make their way in, especially around Bloomington, Columbus, Bedford, and Seymour. The rest of us, just cloudy skies, and there you can see those temperatures not bad as we start off a December morning in the lower to middle 40s.
A man accused of throwing bicycles onto I-69 from an overpass is due in court on January 27th. Police say Stephen Davis confessed that he wanted to kill people when he dropped 2 bikes onto the interstate in Madison County. Investigators say Davis told them he regretted not causing a 10-car pileup. The 32-year-old faces criminal recklessness charge. And a suspect wanted in a string of robberies at cell phone stores is off the streets. Police arrested the 21-year-old man on November 25th. Investigators believe he may have committed other robberies in the city. We are not sharing the suspect's name because formal charges have not been filed.
Muncie is the latest central Indiana city that will have a new police chief in the new year. Today, RTV6 learned Muncie Police Chief Joe Winkle will leave the department on December 30th. His departure comes as federal authorities investigate several Muncie police officers for alleged police brutality. Chief Winkle says his departure has nothing to do with that. The department is also facing several excessive force lawsuits. Earlier this week, Beech Grove announced Police Chief Mark Schwartz will retire on January 1st after 8 years in the position. And last week, Indianapolis announced IMPD Chief Brian Roach will retire at the end of the year. Mayor Joe Hawks had appointed Roach chief in January of 2017.
We are working to learn more about 2 different serious shootings in Indianapolis. We start on the west side, where police say a person is seriously injured after getting shot on Beachway Drive at around 4:30 this afternoon. That's northeast of High School and Rockville Roads. No other information has been released. And a man is dead after a shooting on 19th Street near Emerson and I-70 on the east side. That happened at around 2:30 this afternoon. Earlier today, a man was shot and killed less than 2 miles away from that scene.
Hundreds of pending misdemeanor marijuana cases have been dismissed in Marion County. That's the result of the new prosecutor's decision to not prosecute misdemeanor pot possession charges of less than 1 ounce. Well, today we learned that since the announcement on September 30th, more than 325 pending cases have been dismissed.
New at 11, a Christmas gift to you from Indigo. Today, the board of directors approved free rides on Christmas and New Year's Eve. The agency says no fare will be charged on all local and rapid transit routes on Christmas Day. On New Year's Eve, rides will be free system-wide from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Indigo says it wants to give everyone in the city a safe and accessible travel option this holiday season. Grocery shopping is now an option again at a former Marsh store. Aldi held a grand opening today at its new location in the shopping plaza on 82nd Street near Allisonville Road on the northeast side. That building had sat empty since 2017 after Marsh filed for bankruptcy. Like many people in the community, one shopper tells us she's happy that's no longer the case.
I'm really excited about it. I think with all the Marshes going out of business, it's been unfortunate, and there have been vacant buildings for a while, so it's been nice to see, especially this one, come in.
Last year, Aldi opened in the former Marsh at 86th and Westfield and Nora. Several Marsh locations have been redeveloped into businesses other than grocery stores.
New tonight, not being able to drive could be a major hurdle for people trying to live the American dream. Coming up, a change that will help new Hoosiers earn their driver's licenses and why it will benefit everyone.
Tonight, we know more about a jewelry store robbery that led to a police chase involving a stolen UPS truck. That ended in a deadly shootout on a Florida highway. Details next.
0 deposit, 0 first month, and 0 due at signing.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
There are many questions at this hour after a chase involving a stolen UPS truck that you see here in Florida. It ended in the deaths of 4 people, including 2 innocent bystanders. ABC's Dave Packer explains what we do know right now.
The terrifying events beginning in Coral Gables, Florida, just after 4:15 local time Thursday. 2 armed suspects holding up a jewelry store. At least 1 store employee injured during the robbery.
The suspects fled the area. They hijacked a UPS truck and kidnapped the driver.
Subjects are now in a brown UPS truck.
A high-speed chase ensued.
Suspect behind that UPS vehicle is extremely dangerous.
The suspects weaving through traffic, driving on the sidewalk, packages littering the highway as numerous police vehicles closed in. The chase ending in a barrage of gunfire as a man attempts to exit the truck.
The armed suspects engaged law enforcement, opened fire. There was exchange fire between law enforcement and the suspects. And unfortunately, the suspects are now deceased, but 2 additional innocent civilians were also deceased.
Among those innocent victims, the UPS driver and a bystander inside another car at the scene of the shooting. Authorities now trying to determine how those victims died. UPS issuing a statement offering condolences to the family and friends of the victims, vowing to cooperate with the investigation. Dave Packer, ABC News, New York.
Tomorrow is the deadline for the White House to decide whether it will participate in any impeachment hearing.
The House Judiciary Committee could hold another hearing next week. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has officially moved out of the inquiry phase into the impeachment phase of President Trump. Today, she announced the committee chairman handling the inquiry should proceed with articles of impeachment, which could potentially include abuse of power and bribery, obstruction of justice, and obstruction of Congress.
A jobs program in central Indiana is getting attention from the White House and Apple. Today, Ivanka Trump, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, Apple CEO Tim Cook, and Governor Eric Holcomb toured the Indiana Women's Prison. The group heard from inmates who are a part of the Last Mile program. Those inmates learn computer coding to help them find work after serving their time.
The likelihood of going back to prison goes up exponentially if you're unable to secure a job. So we're helping through discussions like we had today to bridge that gap.
The visit was part of a meeting of the American Workforce Policy Advisory Board. And today, the Indiana BMV announced it's making some changes that fall right in line with the first words of its mission statement to serve all Hoosiers. Beginning in 2021, the Indiana Driver's Manual will be available in more languages than just English and Spanish. The change stems from a settled lawsuit that accused the BMV of discriminating against a person's national origin. Tonight, RTV6's Cornelius Hawker introduces you to a group that says these new manuals will be a good thing for all Hoosiers.
This is really part of try to be a welcoming community.
Eliza Vani runs the Burmese American Community Institute. He helps some of the 22,000 people in Indianapolis who will benefit from a new driver's manual in their native language, Burmese.
This is also really a win-win for everyone, because when the people, newcomers like Burmese or Chin, are be able to get the license and drive to work and earn money, which means they are part of a successful community. English class.
Several days a week, English classes are held here, giving Burmese speakers a chance to learn and practice their English. Sarah Mang is one of the teachers. Like many young people, she was able to pick up on English quickly because she was in school and constantly around it.
It's not that difficult for me, but for our parents, it's a lot hard.
Which made Sarah the translator for her parents at times, reading things in English and then translating the words into Burmese, something Sarah says was difficult as a child. This driver's manual translation might not seem like a big deal to some, but it will mean a lot to the children of immigrants whose mom and dad may still be trying to learn English while taking care of their families.
It'll be really helpful for our parents, and we are so grateful that they're going to translate it.
We very much looking forward to the implementation of these languages in this program.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
And the BMV says the new driver's manual translations will be available by March 1st, 2021. New translations will be added if an average of 500 people over 3 years take their written exam in a language that is not provided.
Christmas trees are in short supply this holiday season, and that could put a damper on your holiday cheer, but it could also have more serious consequences. Fewer trees make it harder on tree farmers who depend on sales to make a living. Lost 40 Tree Farm in Hancock County has already sold out of all of its trees. Owner Kathleen Wentz says that a severe drought in 2012 killed many of the trees that would be ready to sell this year. And Samble's Tree Farm in Fortville still has some in stock, but you might have to settle for a smaller selection.
We have an 8 to 12 year crop, so it's not like if you lose 1 year, you can catch right back up again the next year. It's going to take us, 2 or 3 years to really get going again.
I think there's more of a tight supply than a shortage. I think everyone can come out and still get a tree when they go to a farm. It may have to be a little smaller than last year. It might even have to be a different species.
Samuels ordered pre-cut trees from out of state to keep up with the demand. You still have time to donate to the RTV6 Toy Drive as well. Our next collection event is Saturday from 11 to 6 at Lafayette Square Mall. You can also drop off donations at several sites across central Indiana, including participating Applebee's and U-Store facilities. For a full list of locations and times, go to our website, theindychannel.com, and click on the 6 Shines On Toy Drive link. And we also want to thank everyone who donated during our collection on Monument Circle today. We began at 6, we ended at 6:30 p.m., and we saw a lot of people in that time.
There was a lot of people that swung by, and it was, as you heard, it was a beautiful day out there. So
it's not a bad day to have the top down on the Corvettes that rolled onto Monument Circle.
Great energy. I know in years past it's been really cold, but this was a great day for this toy drive. We met a lot of people that came by, so thank you to everyone who took the time to come to Monument Circle and bring us some toys for that toy drive. But again, we are still accepting donations.
Even here at the station.
Yeah, and we've got some good shopping weather this weekend, too. So as you're out and about, temperatures are in the 40s and 50s. Let's take you to Monument Circle right now. The temperature is sitting in the lower 40s at 42 degrees. Thanks to that southeast breeze between 5 and 10 miles per hour, our temperatures are going to hold fairly steady tonight, around 40. And again, getting into the middle 40s by tomorrow morning. Now, most of us are going to stay dry, but TrueCast does try and paint on a few isolated showers here by 4:30 Friday morning. Best chance for rain, though, is going to be far southern areas as we get around Bloomington, toward Columbus, Greensburg, Bedford, and Seymour as we go through the mid-morning hours. But notice what happens as we go into the afternoon. Some rapid clearing of those clouds. By 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we are back into sunshine after starting off with those cloudy skies. Taking you hour by hour through your finally Friday forecast here, and temperatures starting off in the 40s, and that's pretty much where we're going to sit for much of the day, around 44 degrees. And we're also going to have that wind that turns out of the north. It's going to drop those temperatures to what feels like the 30s for wind chills, and actually falling back into the 30s by 6 o'clock tomorrow evening with those clear skies in place. But this is right about where we should be for this time of year. 45 in the city, 41 in Peru, and 48 in Columbus for our Friday afternoon. Looking ahead to the upcoming weekend, we talked about it. Some more great weather is coming our way. Sunshine is back with us on Saturday, a pair of 4s for that afternoon high, and even warmer. There are the 50s. They are going to make a return here as we go into Sunday. We'll increase the clouds Sunday, but I think that the rain chances are really going to be holding off through the daylight hours. We take you to TrueCast overnight Sunday into Monday, and we've got the clouds, and then we start to reintroduce some rain chances here. Could be fairly soggy for much of our Monday, but you also notice what happens, that the rain is going to get out of here, I think, before much in the way of that cold air catches up to it. So we're really not looking at much in the way of snow shower activity with this system the way it looks right now. 7-day planning forecast as we put it together for you. There are those highs in the 50s for Sunday and Monday. Monday's really the best chance for rain over the next 7 days, and also that divider from the mild temperatures to the cold stuff. We'll go to 36 for the high Tuesday, but that's nothing. Wednesday is 28 for the high after starting off at 15.
Wow.
And it's going to be windy.
Spread there.
Yeah, going down.
Kyle for that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to head over into sports.
Well, the Colts back at it today, getting back into their practice routine. That includes the newest Colt journeyman kicker, Chase McLaughlin, signed yesterday and just might be forced into action this Sunday. Good evening. It's all well documented. The 24th NFL season for Adam Vinatieri hasn't gone according to plan, and occasional knee soreness isn't helping one bit. Yesterday after practice, the 46-year-old returns 47 in just over 3 weeks, had an MRI on his left knee. Numbers on the field help tell the story, missing a total of 14 kicks this season, 8 field goals and 6 PATs. This afternoon, Vinny not predicting anything about his situation.
Not stressing it too much today, just doing treatment and stuff like that. Won't kick today, obviously. I don't kick on Thursdays anyways. I haven't got that far yet, to be honest with you. I'm just we're going to see what the docs say and see what we're doing and treat the heck out of it every single day and see what we can come up with.
You're at the Bucs Sunday. And then there's the other knee situation we're keeping an eye on, the one involving the 2-time All-Star, Victor Oladipo, once again spending a few days with the Fort Wayne Mad Ants as his rehab continues. Pretty good idea, really, by the Pacers to continue a 5-game road trip. Vic, a part of our Sports Extra Spotlight earlier tonight at 6.
I got a lot more in me. I got a lot more to prove. I got a lot more to conquer. I got a lot of more goals to accomplish. So for me, this is just the beginning. So as soon as I get back right and get back on the court, I'm going to let the reins loose.
Pacers at the Pistons tomorrow night. Finally, first and foremost, West Lafayette. Now, this is the way to celebrate a win. Purdue sophomore Sasha Stefanovic with a career-high 20 last night as they upset 5th-ranked Virginia. Does someone have a towel?
I knew it was coming. I walked into the locker room and they're all huddled around the water cooler, like getting cups ready and stuff. But
we're gonna throw the whole thing.
Yeah, but no, it's really cool. It's really cool. I've kind of dreamed of these moments, and playing in front of that crowd in Mackey was an unbelievable night.
Purdue begins Big Ten play this Sunday when they host Northwestern. And tomorrow night, week 1 of Hoosier Hoop Hysteria will be live from Lawrence Central to get things rolling. Can't wait, guys.
Thank you, Dave. Coming up, robots taking over in the workplace does not necessarily mean they're taking jobs. How automation can benefit employees.
Just call Summers.
As we head into the new year, RTV6 is taking a look back at some of the programs and companies that are hiring Hoosiers.
We've also been focusing on the changes underway for some of Indiana's biggest industries like automation.
Tonight, RTV6's Rafael Sanchez explains why workers should not fear the rise of robots.
Automation can create anxiety. But as robots replace some job functions, the machines are revolutionizing how people work.
Robots can take care of that, things that are dangerous, dirty, nasty, that people don't enjoy anyway, and you have high turnover rates in.
Vincennes University is one of several sites training people to handle robotics, whether in a plant, a hospital, or a warehouse.
The good thing about this new technology is everything inside of it is old. Electricity's been around for decades, and mechanical devices, and that's all robots and automated equipment is. Some electricity and some mechanical items.
Jerry Rubel works with a number of businesses in Southwest Indiana who send workers for weekly intensive training sessions to operate robots, fix them, or maintain them.
So we've had people come to class that have had as little training as, well, I can wire up a fan in my house, or I can put a receptacle in, or I change the oil on my car. Anybody with skills as basic as those can come here and learn the things we're teaching.
In Greensburg at the Honda plant, they've set aside space for the ARC. The Associate Resource Center is where workers can improve their skills or work on the jobs of the future.
There's great opportunity for higher paying jobs working with robots.
Focused on hiring Hoosiers, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
And right now, the state is making grants available to help people looking for jobs in this area. For more information, go to hiringhoosiers.com. We'll be right back here on RTV6.
Visit your local Chase branch.
All right, a little bit cooler tomorrow, but still not too bad for early December. We'll start off in the lower to middle 40s, a couple of isolated showers to the south, but sunshine for the afternoon, a temperature of 42. 7-day planning forecast, weekend looking nice, and then as we get into Monday, those rain chances are going to come back with a high of 54, and then things get more winter-like. We'll have highs in the 30s on Tuesday, 20s by Wednesday.
I'm just going to block off the last 3 days.
Just focus on the good idea, right?
Just focus on the weekend.
Thanks for joining us.
Good night.